Hello, everybody. This is Laura Van Tile with the Weight Loss Surgery Foundation of America. And I am here with Elsie. And Elsie is one of our grant recipients. And we're just going to talk to her and just find out how she's doing along her journey. And we're just loving that we're able to do this right now because our recipients are just like all of us, right? We have highs, we have lows, and everything in between. We lose a lot, and sometimes we deal with regain as well. I know I do. How about you? Okay, so we're going to talk about a lot of things in a short amount of time. So hi, Elsie.
Hey.
Hey. And Elsie, where are you coming from?
I am technically right now in Social Mississippi, which is my job.
Yeah.
I do but I live in Ocean Springs, Mississippi, which is just a little east of Biloxi, which a lot of people know where Biloxi, Mississippi is. Okay. So if you're familiar with Biloxi, it's right around the corner.
Okay. And when did you have surgery? And what type of surgery did you have?
I had the gastric sleeve, and I had it August of 2019, so almost 3 years.
Okay, great. And who did your surgery? Let's talk about your surgeon a little bit.
One of my most favorite humans in the world is what I say, Dr. Rachel Moore. Not only is she to me the best doctor in the world, at least bariatric surgeon, but she is a very compassionate, just wonderful, sweet person who cares about the bariatric community. She has given so much to us, and
yes.
I could go on about her all day long.
Yeah.
She doesn't have that this is your fault demeanor, and I'm going to do this and you're going to do this. She was never ugly. She was never condemning, like, you shouldn't be eating that. It's like, well, just always very understanding. I just was very blessed. And she did the surgery. She's based out of New Orleans, Louisiana, and a town a little east of there called Slidell, Louisiana. It's about 35 minutes. There's a little surgery center. So it's kind of halfway between me and her. It kind of helped me out not have to go all the way to New Orleans, which is not that far. It's like an hour and a half at tops. But anyway, I had it at a Southern Surgery Center there in Slidell, and they were great. I wound up having to stay a couple of days. I have low blood pressure anyway, and then I was nauseous and the little things, but overall it was not a big deal.
Well,
I've
great.
seen people have stories, but I really didn't have that.
Well, not great that you had to stay a few extra days, but great that you visited Dr. Moore. She's one of my favorite people too. And I consider her a patient surgeon, that she, it's not, she doesn't leave you. She's always with you, always there, willing to help. And she's
still now.
Yeah.
Still now, I have her on Facebook, and I try not to bug her too much because she's big. But once in a while, I'll just send her a message and tell her how I'm doing. And it's been almost 3 years, and I probably should be going to see her, but just haven't. We had COVID, and then everything just kind of went crazy.
Oh yeah, good old COVID.
Right.
Okay, well, let's go on. I have some other questions here. So how did your life change after surgery?
Well, it was strange, and I was, gung-ho and doing the right thing. I think like a lot of us, we start out good. It was hard getting used to, my life centered around food. When I go with my friends, we go eat, and, you can find good things to eat when you go out to eat, but that just changes so much. The big chips and dip bowl, and that go in, and still it's still different. Somebody will say, let's go here, and I'm like, I don't really have any good options there. I try to avoid those things. And it's just a lot of things change, and I started feeling better. I started becoming lighter on my feet.
Mhm.
I I just felt like I had, I don't know, like I come back to life a little bit.
Mhm.
And it was so promising, and I was so, I felt so thankful that I had
Mhm.
the opportunity and that all these people had done this for me that year. That
Mhm.
was, for me. We had another recipient that
Yeah.
year, but at that moment, it's like all about me. And it's like,
Mhm.
it's never about me. I have children. So I was like,
I
oh, it's all for
know,
me.
that's right.
And it's a personal thing when, like when I accepted the grant and made my little speech, I was looking at all these people and I was like, they're all doing this for me,
Mhm.
or people like me. But it was, sorry, I'm still at work. Um, it was an experience for sure.
Mhm.
And, but like I said, looking out at all those people and I'm like, they did this for me. And
Mhm.
that's a very humbling, feeling.
Mhm.
And then when I felt like, I owed it to them to do this and do that. And that had a little pressure on that. I felt like I was
Mhm.
letting all those people down when I regained.
Mhm.
Because regain is hard. But I know a lot of us do it.
Yep,
But
that's so
that
true.
was, I thought about it and I'm like, all those people are letting down.
Mhm.
Um, but so when I fight every day, I try to think about that. I want
Mhm.
people to be proud of me, but you know,
Okay, so
we do our best.
how about some NSB's non-surgical victories? What have you experienced? Maybe just like one or two.
Uh, shaving my legs,
Hey, I
painting my
know.
painting my toenails.
Uh-huh.
Uh, I don't know, going to the mailbox without being winded.
Yes,
You know,
yes. Uh-huh.
and I remember that at work, I was coming back and I was like, just when I go check my work mailbox, and it
Mm-hmm.
was like when I get back, and then I started realizing every time I went, it got easier, easier, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, we went on a trip last year. Me and all my kids, we drove down to Florida Keys,
Oh, fun.
and we did a little like a trip, and we stopped in Orlando, and like I was able to walk.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was slower than them because I have knee issues, but
Mm-hmm.
I was able to walk. And the last time I've been at Disney, I was in a wheelchair. So it was a good feeling. And when
Mm-hmm.
I was in the Keys just last year, I walked, I don't know how many miles I walked
Mm-hmm.
because I just took off. I told my kids I'll see you later, and I wanted to go look at the shops and all of
Mm-hmm.
that. And I walked like what it seemed like forever. And I got so exhausted I had to take a cab back because I went so far. And when I looked at how many steps, I was like 2 miles away, and I'm like, I don't know how this happened, but I'm not walking back.
Uh-huh.
My feet were killing me, and I had little shopping bags,
Uh-huh.
and so
Yeah, they have cute
I
little
was,
shops there, don't they?
yeah, they do. Couldn't afford a lot, but I was getting those. They had like $5 t-shirt shops and stuff like that, so I was getting
Uh-huh.
stuff for the grandkids, but being able to do that was exciting,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
It's like those little things, that,
Yeah,
we take for granted sometimes,
no,
until we can do them. It's like big, and that's why they call them non-surgery victories, right?
yes,
Okay,
NSVs.
so how about challenges? What challenges have you faced since surgery?
In February of 21, I was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease.
Mhm, mhm,
Since then, things have changed a lot. I've put back on somewhere around 50 pounds. I'm still down 100 roughly.
mhm,
Parkinson's is a neurological disorder
mhm,
affected by the lack of dopamine produced in your system.
mhm,
So I take levodopa, whatever,
mhm,
and that kind of replaces it, but nothing is as good as what comes out of your brain.
mhm,
So A lot of problems with Parkinson's patients is that they get into gambling addictions. They get into becoming alcoholics.
Mhm.
Well, I already have an addiction to food because that never goes away.
Mhm.
So I can not go in a casino and I can not go to a bar, but we have to eat.
Mhm.
And then, of course,
So
I
true.
started getting into bad habits again,
Mhm.
doing things I shouldn't do because my brain is fighting against it.
Mhm.
So I have, issues with battling that.
Mhm.
Hopefully, in time, it's going to resolve itself because a lot of Parkinson's patients lose weight anyway. It's
Mhm.
part of the natural part of Parkinson's, from what I understand. So I'm waiting for that part to happen. But things start to taste funny, so I'm waiting for that. And
Mhm.
I look, that part won't happen, but I'll get the other stuff.
Uh-huh.
Um, so it's been a challenge because, again, that's my addiction, and
Mhm. Mhm.
I'm, uh, it's still an everyday battle. My
Mhm.
joints are going in reverse. I've got a lot of issues with my joints. Every
Mhm.
day I'm deteriorating. I'm trying to keep my brain sharp. I'm on a medication. Um, uh, it is they did a movie and I can't remember the name of it, where it's like a super pill, and
Mhm.
it's an exaggerated
Uh-huh.
movie of this pill, but the guy like basically solves his mom's cancer by reading books all night long. He's like
Uh-huh.
going through reading books like Superman or something.
Uh-huh.
Um, but he absorbs everything, and he's
Mhm.
more aware, of your senses and things. So
Mhm.
I was taking that, and that's done good. And they have me on a Alzheimer med. Um,
Mhm.
don't ask me names because it's the end of the day and it's the bad part of the day. Anyway, I take a medicine for Alzheimer patients to try
Uh-huh.
to keep me sharp and focused. But so I started getting really foggy. Um,
Mhm.
so I was kind of going down fast, and I'm trying to level off, and I'm trying to do the right things. And I'm researching diets,
Mhm.
that a lot of patients, certain foods that you can eat to help you on
Mhm.
Parkinson's. Well, the bad part about taking my medicine that I'm fixing to start 4 times a day
Mhm.
is you can't eat a lot of protein. Well, we all know we need
Yeah.
our protein.
Yep.
So because you're fighting for to break down the levodopa so that it can turn into dopamine. Well, if you're busy breaking down your protein,
Mhm.
you're fighting. So anyway, if
Yeah,
that
that
makes
makes
sense.
sense,
So I
unfortunately.
have to
Yeah.
take it on an empty stomach. I have to base it around my meals.
Mhm.
So that's tricky when you're taking a medicine 4 times a day.
Mhm.
So,
Okay.
but I'm working on it, working on it.
Well, good. I'm so sorry that you have to face this, but it sounds
Yeah,
like, you're equipping yourself to face it in the best way possible. And I think that
right,
that's
that's right.
admirable.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give to newbies or other people that are out there that just had their surgeries or maybe even a little bit further out?
Stick to the plan. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't change. You can say, well, it's been 6 months. I'm going to eat bread now.
Mm-hmm.
Don't touch, don't touch the bread.
Mm-hmm.
When you want that piece of chocolate, don't buy the chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
But you just absolutely have to have that piece of chocolate. You
Mm-hmm.
buy one piece, throw away the rest. Have you a bite of it or whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
once you start giving into those things, it's over.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe some people can control that, but I didn't get this way by having self-control.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's right.
So my advice is, and I had a friend that had weight loss surgery uh, right after me, and it was a few months later, and he started eating bread, and I'm like, I don't even eat bread. I still once in a while I have it, but it's not something that I have every day.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but everybody's a sucker for a yeast roll. I mean, it's just so hard.
Mm-hmm.
But I used to eat 4 or 5, and if I eat one now, I'm shot. One, it doesn't fit.
Mm-hmm.
But I seen my friend doing that, And then when I started eating the bread, I'm like, you told him don't ever start, but you did. So I'm just going to say, don't start back with the bad habits. And this is your friend.
That's your friend.
Water is your friend.
Oh, definitely.
Water, 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 water. When you think you're hungry, you're probably dehydrated. You need your fluids. I don't get enough fluids, and I think that is one of my downfalls. But I've been trying to do more and more. But besides that, it's a great process. It's a great tool. And I'm happy for the 100 I have off, because I don't know where I'd be right now had I not even had that. So I'm thankful for what has stayed off. And I'm just working everyday struggle to do better, It's not, don't look at where you're going to be next year, look at where you're going to be tomorrow. That you can look back and say, well, yesterday I did really well. And then today I'm going to do well. And then say tomorrow I'm going to do well too. Don't
I
worry
love
about
that.
where you're
Love that perspective. Love that perspective. I love it.
And if I have a bad day, I say tomorrow's going to be better. Don't beat yourself up. We're just human.
I always encourage people, because I've done this in my life. I'm 19 years out, so at the beginning, and then every once in a while I have to do this again, write on the mirror or put a little sign on the bathroom mirror that says, just because I can doesn't mean I should. Right?
That's right.
It so relates, because I can eat a lot of things, but it's like, yeah, I probably shouldn't. So anyway, okay, one last thing. Go ahead. Did you want to say something?
Well, I was going to say, and there's one thing that I read this somewhere, I don't know, I'm copying it, but I love it. And it says, nothing tastes as good as skinny feels. And well, that one's a tough one, because things do taste good, but when I was down at my lowest, which I didn't reach what I should have, what Dr. Moore had expected me to, but we didn't know I was fighting an internal battle that I didn't know about at that time. Of course, Parkinson's didn't happen overnight. So obviously I'm looking back, knowing things now, I see, the falls, the unsteadiness and stuff that comes with it. But anyway, so I was fighting more battles than I knew about. So I try to give myself a break, but it's hard. So I want to beat myself up, but you can't. You just got to fight harder. Just be tougher tomorrow.
That's right. And go forward in any way that you can, because the other stuff is behind you. So one last question. What would you like to say to the WLSFA and also to the WLSFA community that actually raised the funds and donated so that you could have that gift of weight loss surgery?
We had touched, I had brought this up during my speech when I accepted it, that, everybody is out there in that audience, and they were doing all that for me. And there was so many, which every year there's different people, but at that moment, that was all about me. And it was exciting just to think that this community is the most wonderful, giving community that I've ever seen of anything I've ever been involved in my life. And I'm hoping to give back a little more if I get in, a little bit better mindset. And, maybe I can get in a better place in my life to be able to help plan a future, weight loss seminar if y'all come south.
That would be nice. That would be nice.
Yeah, I'm hoping, but it's a wonderful community. And I just wanted to thank everybody, past, present, future, that gives, donates even $1. And I told everybody on my Facebook page that I have like 1,000 friends, acquaintances. And if everybody gave $5, that would be $2,500 if just half of them gave. And I think a lot of people think, oh, it's only $5. I'm not going to do that, because that doesn't mean anything. And, I can't even remember how much I raised, but I raised quite a bit. And it was just by a few here and there. And I told them, you will not hurt my feelings if you give me $1. Not at all. I thank you as much as the person who gave me $5, because every dollar is so important. So very important.
Yeah. Thank you so much for those words of encouragement for other people to donate to the foundation, as well as, just talking to us, telling us how you're doing and everything. And I really, really appreciate your honesty. You're an
Well,
amazing woman, in
thank
case you didn't
you.
know that already.
You're just going to make me not want to do anything bad today or tomorrow. Maybe I'll just remember, and I'm amazing. I'm going to write that on my mirror. I'm amazing. Laura said so.
Yes, that's right. Yes, you do that. You do that. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, and we will talk to you soon.
Thank you. And thank you, everybody.
Okay, bye-bye. Okay, we're done. I hope that I hope that oh, hold on. I see